How you doing? This is Coach DeCarlo. Today we want to talk about thinking outside my box. You'll notice here under the thinking outside my box, there's a rest in peace, almost a gravesite of sort. That's what your box is if you don't understand. Your box is your pre-existing beliefs and ideals that keep you bound. In order to transcend that box, you got to begin thinking outside that box. There was a story told many years ago, and the story was that this rich and famous king was given a gift of this box, and he was told that only thing he would have to do is open this box up, and the puppets, without any effort, would dance and perform for him. And only thing he had to do was, make the command to change the picture within that magical box. The king was so fascinated about this magical box. Anything that he projected in this magical box, any thought that he thought turned into a movie within this box. And so he was just so overjoyed, and pretty soon he started thinking very negatively. And of course, then the images changed and the box became very depressing. And so much so that the king almost ended it all until he began to again change the pictures to a more positive outlook. Now, many of you are coming to realize that that box that we're talking about is in fact the king's mind. But there's another box that influences us so much. We call it the internet, we call it television, we call it media, we call it the movie screens. That movie screen that we watch on a daily basis, that TV, that internet, if you're not mindful of what it is that you're allowing into your mind's gate, that's a command to your subconscious mind to say, create more of that. So, say for example, you love watching action movies. Many of us say to ourselves, I know the difference between fact and fiction. But the truth of the matter is, science fiction is just fiction that hasn't manifested itself in reality yet. And we discover that when we look at things like submarines, spaceships, airplanes, all these things first and foremost were thought in the minds of men. And of course, then they were later outpictured. Matter of fact, everything around you started off as a belief. Many of those beliefs that are currently around you started off as an impossible belief. And depending upon what stage of time we were in, those things could not be produced certain given times in history because we just didn't have the tools to manufacture some of those things that you see going on around you. Now, of course, because we have these things around us day in and day out, we take them for granted. But understand this, these would not have taken place. They would not have been manufactured if somebody didn't think it first in their mind. What are you thinking, creators, morning, noon, and night? What's on the screen of your mind, your imagination? Because see, depending upon what you're giving your attention to, this is, in fact, what's going to be outpictured in your reality. I remember watching, certain Kung Fu movies, especially as a kid, and immediately after I would watch that Kung Fu movie, I would go out in the street and I would become a Kung Fu master, and I'm kicking and chopping and, getting hurt because, of course, I'm emulating, of course, the movie that I was watching. This is how life is. Many times we talk about pretending, make-believe, fantasizing, and we say, that's nothing but pretending, make-believe, fantasizing. But these are the things that actually turn into your future reality. So many people have watched certain movies or given their time to certain programs, and they're inundating themselves with these programs morning, noon, and night. And they wonder why they're depressed, why they're having a hard time, why they're being stressed out, why they don't trust their partner. If the only thing that you're watching on TV, for example, are programs that show partners cheating on partners, eventually you're going to start to believe that your partner is cheating on you. And you can even create the environment in which your partner will cheat because, of course, you've opened your mind's gate to these concepts, these beliefs. Advertisers understand this. And this is why when they have you at your peak time of awareness, when you're in an alpha state, sometimes a theta state, what they will do is put a commercial in front of you. What you'll notice about the commercial is that the volume goes up much louder than your normal TV program or your movie that you're watching. Why is that? They know that they have you at an alpha state at this moment. They know that they can send this suggestion to your subconscious mind without any hindrance from the conscious mind, because of course the conscious mind is relaxed because it's watching this great program and can't wait till the program comes back on. Now, what I'm not saying is not to watch TV. That's your choice. I'm not telling you not to go to movies. I'm not telling you not to watch the internet. I do all of these things. But I'm also aware of how much I'm giving my attention to these things because I understand that these things influence me in one way or the other. You have to understand that whatever you open your mind to, that's what you're going to outpicture eventually in your reality. Now, it may not look exactly like the movie on the screen, and you're going to ask yourself, where did that come from? Not being mindful that you've been watching these types of movies all day long, or you've been watching soap operas all day long. Whatever it is that you're pouring into your mind's gate, this is what's actually going to be outpictured in some form. Let's say that it's a program talking about, the struggles and poverty in the world. What that's going to do for you is confirm why you're impoverished. Change it up a little bit. Start watching how successful people became successful. Allow that to be a part of your programming and start watching that on a more continuous basis and watch how your life is also transformed. Creators, whatever it is that you're allowing into your box, your mind, that picture on your screen, again, what we're talking about is thinking outside my box. When you begin thinking outside your preconceived ideals, your earlier programming, you're well on your way to transforming your life. But you have to get into a place where you're thinking outside that box. But the only way you can do that is by taking on new information. And when you're looking at manifesting, the secret to manifesting is imagination with feelings. Now, many of us that understand the principles taught by Neville, we understand that feeling is the secret. You also have to make sure that you're envisioning the end of what it is you desire to manifest. And you also use things as simple as affirmation. I am abundant. I am prosperous. Now you say, well, I don't feel abundant. I don't feel prosperous at this moment. But if you continue to say that, what's going to happen is for your subconscious mind, especially when you're doing it with feelings and imagination, subconscious mind is eventually going to begin taking this as your reality, and it's going to begin presenting to you opportunities so that you can be abundant, so that you can be healthy, so that you can be in a loving relationship. Whatever it is that you want, feed your mind more of that. Find yourself being entertained by more of what it is that you desire to manifest in your life and less of those things that you don't. If it's not something that you want to outpicture in your life, don't continuously give your attention to it, because the truth of the matter is you're thinking that I'm just being entertained by this program, but in fact, what you're doing is programming your subconscious mind for more of that you're giving your attention to. So, like I said, when you begin thinking outside your box, begin looking at those people that have what it is that you want, that are doing what it is that you desire to do, that are being what it is that you desire to be. And begin emulating them, watching more of them, finding out what it is that they're doing to be successful, and begin simply mirroring those individuals. If you begin doing that, you're going to transcend your box, and your life cannot look the same ever again if you continue to practice the principles of thinking outside your proverbial box. But looking at the acronym Thinking Outside My Box spells out tomb. If you remain in that proverbial box of yours and you don't step outside of it, you've buried yourself in a tomb of your own making. And the only way you can transcend that gravesite is begin thinking outside your proverbial box. Remember this, creators, that only you can create your perfect world. Not God, not man. Only you can create your perfect world. This is Coach DeCarlo saying have a great and abundant day.